We don't want you here. Shocking, right? But in some parts of the world, it's not just a phrase, it's reality. While the United States holds one of the world's most powerful passports, it doesn't guarantee a warm welcome everywhere. In fact, there are countries where being American can lead to suspicion, rejection, or even danger, whether it's because of political tensions, historical conflicts, or ongoing war. Some nations have made it clear Americans are not exactly on the guest list. So before you book that international trip, hit that like button. Let's try to reach 5,000 likes, and make sure you're subscribed. Now, let's dive into the top 10 countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024. #10. Myanmar. Once a hidden gem of Southeast Asia, Myanmar is now a no-go zone for many travelers, and especially Americans. Since the 2021 military coup, the country has plunged into violence and political chaos. With mass protests, military crackdowns, and a civil war brewing, the U.S. State Department has issued a strong do not travels warning. American visitors face strict surveillance, potential detention, and almost no embassy support. Visa approvals are rare, and even if granted, moving around the country is extremely dangerous. This is one place where having a US passport won't help you, it might actually hurt. #9. Yemen, home to 30 million people, is suffering one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. Years of civil war, airstrikes, and famine have devastated the nation. For Americans, the dangers are extreme, ranging from terrorism and kidnapping to drone strikes and bombings. The US has no active embassy here, and if something goes wrong, there's no safety net. The visa process is nearly impossible, and the few foreigners who do get in often wish they hadn't. It's not a destination. It's a warning sign. #8. Somalia. With constant headlines about pirates, terrorism, and lawlessness, Somalia is one of the most unstable nations on earth. For Americans, the risks go far beyond the usual travel headaches. Al-Shabaab, a terrorist group that openly targets Westerners, remains active. There's little infrastructure, no real tourism industry, and basically no US diplomatic presence. If you're American and you somehow end up here, your safety is entirely in your own hands, and that's not a good place to be. #7. Venezuela. Once a wealthy oil-rich nation, Venezuela has fallen into political and economic collapse. Hyperinflation, mass emigration, and government crackdowns have made everyday life incredibly difficult for its 28 million citizens, and even more so for outsiders. The US and Venezuelan governments are not on good terms. The American embassy in Caracas closed in 2019, and the relationship has been rocky ever since. If you're an American tourist, expect suspicion, limited access to cash due to sanctions, and possible confrontations with authorities. Venezuela's beauty is undeniable, but visiting right now is a serious gamble. #6. Libya, located in North Africa, remains torn between rival governments, militias, and foreign powers. The nation has never fully recovered from the fall of Gaddafi in 2011. For Americans, Libya poses serious risks. There's no functioning central government, terrorism is rampant, and kidnappings are common. The 2012 Benghazi attack that killed US diplomats is a grim reminder of how dangerous things can get. Even if you secure a visa, which is extremely rare, traveling safely within Libya is almost impossible without armed protection. #5. Syria. Once a cultural and historical hub of the Middle East, Syria is now a war-torn battlefield. The civil war that began in 2011 is still ongoing, and large parts of the country are controlled by different armed groups. The Assad government has a very hostile stance toward the US, and Americans are often viewed as enemies. Travelers risk being surveilled, detained, or worse. Even journalists and aid workers face life-threatening situations. The visa? Nearly impossible. The danger? Off the charts. #4. Afghanistan has been in conflict for decades, but the Afghanistan has been in conflict for decades, but the Taliban's return to power in 2021 reignited global concerns. Americans, especially, are at high risk. The US no longer has an embassy in Kabul, and consular support is non-existent. Terror attacks, targeted detentions, and anti-Western sentiments are a real threat. And the visa process? Nearly a dead end. Even if you make it in, you're entering a state of uncertainty and constant risk. Unless you have an urgent reason to go, don't. #3. Iraq. After the 2003 US-led invasion, Iraq's relationship with America changed forever. Though some regions like Kurdistan are relatively stable, the country as a whole remains unpredictable. Tensions are still high, and Americans are often viewed with suspicion. There are frequent security checkpoints, strict travel restrictions, and militant activity. Even getting in and out of the country can be a logistical nightmare. Visiting Iraq as a US citizen is not just difficult, it's risky. #2. Iran is a complex country, rich in culture, history, and incredible hospitality among its people. But its government? That's another story. The US-Iran relationship has been frosty for decades, starting with the 1979 hostage crisis. Today, the situation remains tense. American tourists can be detained without cause, especially dual nationals. You'll need to apply for a visa through a third country, hire a government-approved guide, and follow strict rules. One wrong move could mean arrest, and there's no US embassy to call for help. #1. North Korea at the top of the list is the most closed-off nation on Earth. North Korea. Since 2017, US passports have been invalid for travel to North Korea without special permission, and for good reason. The regime tightly controls every movement, every conversation, and every camera angle. Americans are seen not as tourists, but potential spies. The tragic story of Otto Warmbier, a student who was arrested for a minor incident and later died in US custody, is a grim warning. Entering North Korea as an American is more than just illegal, it could cost you your life. So there you have it, 10 countries where being American isn't just a disadvantage, it could be downright dangerous. Whether it's politics, war, or long-standing grudges, these nations have drawn a hard line when it comes to US visitors. Airplane. Have you ever been to a country where you felt unwelcome as an American? Or are there others you think should have made the list? Let us know in the comments. Speech Balloon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a deep dive like this. A movie camera. And if you're curious